This is a quick step guide to complete this lab within 10 minutes. Let's click on the Start Lab button to start the lab. Once the lab started, click on the copy icon to copy the login's password. Then, click on Open Cloud Console to launch Google Cloud Console. Next, sign in and paste the login's password that you just copied. If you are prompted with the terms and conditions, just check the necessary and click on Agree and Continue. Now, click on the previous tab. On the right menu list, click on Task 1. Set up Terraform and Cloud Shell to jump straight to the task. First, we'll need to activate Cloud Shell in Cloud Console. On the Cloud Console tab, click on the Cloud Shell icon located on the right at the top. Wait for Cloud Shell to start. Head back to previous tab. Now, scroll down to step 4, click on the copy icon to copy the command to be pasted in Cloud Shell and hit enter. Next, click on Open Editor on the right menu bar in Cloud Shell. If you see this, just click on Open in a new window. While waiting, return to the previous tab and click on Open Terminal. You will need this later. Proceed back to the Editor tab and wait for it to finish loading. In the left pane of the code editor, click on tfinfra once to expand the folder. Next, click on File, New File to create a file. Name the new file as provider.tf and click OK. Go to Lab tab. Copy the code in step 3 under Initialize Terraform and paste it onto provider.tf in Editor tab. Next, go to Lab tab and copy the code in step 4. Then, proceed to the Console tab and paste the code into the terminal. Hit Enter to run the commands. Great. Task 1 is done. Now, we can proceed to Task 2. Go to Editor tab. Click on File, New File to create another file and name it as mynetwork.tf. Then, click OK. On the Lab tab, scroll down to Step 7 to copy the code. Then, proceed to Editor tab and paste it onto mynetwork.tf. Head back to the Lab tab, scroll down to Step 6 after Configure the firewall rule to copy the code. At the Editor tab, hit Enter to go to the next line. Then, paste the code that you just copied. Next, click File, Save to save the file. Then, go to Lab tab and scroll down to Configure the VM instance. Proceed back to Editor tab. Then, click on File, New Folder to create a new folder and name it as Instance. Then, click on File, New File to create a new file under Instance folder. Name the file as main.tf. On the Lab tab, scroll down to Step 11 under Configure the VM instance to copy the code. Then, proceed to Editor tab and paste the code onto main.tf. Next, click File, Save to save the file. Go to Lab tab and scroll down to Step 13 to copy the code to be pasted into mynetwork.tf in Editor tab. On the Editor tab, click on mynetwork.tf on the left menu list. Then, hit Enter once to go to the next line and paste the code. Next, click File, Save to save the file. On Lab tab, scroll down to Create My Network and its resources. Then, copy the code in Step 1. Go to the Cloud Console tab and paste the code in the terminal. Hit Enter to run the command. Then, go back to the Lab tab and copy the code in Step 2. Proceed to the Cloud Console tab, paste the code onto Terminal. Hit Enter to run the command. Go to the Lab tab, copy the code in Step 3 and proceed back to Cloud Console tab to paste the code onto the terminal. Hit Enter to run the command. Click on Authorize if prompted. Go to Lab tab, scroll down to Step 4. Copy the code in Step 4 and paste it onto Terminal on Cloud Console tab. Hit Enter to run the command. At this point, key in Yes and hit Enter to confirm. You will have to wait a few minutes as the firewall rule and VMS are been created. If you see this, well done. You have completed and followed the steps clearly. If not, review through the steps in this video again. You can go to the Lab tab to check your final progress of this lab. While waiting for the points to be updated, you can verify the deployment by following the steps in Task 3. Congrats! You have completed this lab successfully.